I'm sorry you have to listen to this. Really, I am. But the truth can't be hidden forever. Because of me. Yes, I'm not Minty, but a creature she created to remind her of the sins she had made 8 years ago. Every year I remind her of this terrible event, and yet she's never satisfied. She always wants something to torture her. So, I came up with the idea to tell you all of what she did. 8 years ago, when Minty Snowflake was still a blank flake, she spent her days looking after children while their parents were away. Many of the children in Cloudstone went on vacation during holidays and asked Minty to look after their children. It wasn't an easy task, but it was fun for Minty to entertain the children with her random jokes and voice acting. During the winter time, she would take some of the little ones from Cloudsdale to the Ponyville Park, where the ponds were frozen just right for ice skating. For being Pegasi, many of the fillies had to be taught how to ice skate. So every morning, the Pegasus would teach them how to glide on the ice and balance on 4 thin blades. Many of the fillies had trouble at first, but eventually they would get the hang of it and beg their parents to be babysat by Minty or just to visit Ponyville again. 3 of the fillies Minty looked after the most adored the Pegasus. On many occasions during the winter, Minty would even find the fillies at their doorstep, just pleading to be taken to the ponds. One of the fillies was a small but outgoing girl. Her parents never paid much attention to her, but that never got the best of her, and always tried to make every pony smile. With her bright pink coat, ravishing black and white mane, and her bright blue eyes, she popped out from the crowd. She was the fastest learner of all the 3 fillies, and was the first one to master new tricks. The second one of the 3 was a tall, shy colt. He was the timid one of the group and talked only when necessary. His parents taught him to do that at an early age, so respect. But I don't think he really needed to be taught manners. His coat was dull gray, and his mane was white and somewhat fluffy, but he always left his mane to cover his eyes. But when he skated, you could see his wondrous green eyes when his mane caught the wind. The colt never said much, but when he believed no one was looking, he would sing to himself, creating beautiful melodies. The third one of the group was a brash but helpful colt. He was born in a family where he was never really noticed by any pony, but that never stopped him from giving out tips and advice to his friends. When skating on the pond, he was the first one to help one of the fillies up if they ever slipped on the ice. His caramel coat and tied back blonde mane gave him a laid-back look, but as most ponies say, looks can be deceiving. The colt bragged to his friends saying how wonderful he was, but he was never in the spotlight at home 24/7, so had to brag to some pony, right? Every winter, Minty was met with 3 fillies at her front door, with some excuse to saying why they wanted to go skating. This routine happened year after year. New tricks were taught on the ice, confidence grew, and friendships were made. Everything was perfect for Minty and the children, until that day. The day that would change everything. One chilly day, Minty took the fillies back to Ponyville Park after being bribed to do so by the pink filly. Minty tested the ice to see it was stable, except for a large crack in the ice. So, Minty took the fillies to the other side of the pond to practice. The Pegasus began skating lessons with occasional warm-ups. 10 laps around the Dexter area, 5 minutes balancing on 2 hills, and 20 spins on 1 blade. The next part of the lesson that day was for Minty to teach the fillies to turn sharply when using their wings, and then do 3 backflips in the air. As she demonstrated this trick, Minty zoned out and became unaware of her surroundings. The Pegasus was oblivious to how far she glided, She was oblivious to the yelling from children, and she was oblivious to the sound of multiple blades racing over the ice from faint to loud. Minty snapped out of the zone just a moment too late as she collided with the crack in the ice and landed hard on the slippery ice, hitting her head. The Fillies skidded to a halt in front of Minty, almost colliding with one another. The added weight in one small area caused the crack to begin spreading around the group of ponies. The Fillies froze in horror as the ice began to weaken underneath them. The pink filly stood like a statue, watching the crack circle around the group. The tall coat began to weep and quiver in fear, and the caramel coat's eyes shook as he felt himself sink with the ice. The coat then looked at Minty, just hoping she knew what to do in this situation. Yes, these fillies could have spread their wings and flown, but what do you do when you're about to fall into freezing cold water, and the safety of the ice is crumbling underneath you? Our first action is to freeze and just watch. The first one to react from what was going on was the tall coat. He quickly turned his head and bent to Minty's tail and jerked his head, causing the Pegasus to slide away from brittle ice. But with sudden movements, the ice collapsed under Filly's hooves. The tall coat didn't get a chance to push the pink filly or the other coat away before falling in with them. Minty regained consciousness as the cold water drizzled over her. She jerked her head up, surprised to see the three fillies struggling to climb out of the water. She immediately stood up and tried to run to them, but the ice was too slippery for her hooves to catch a grip, and she slipped again. Though her head pounded, Pegasus managed to spread her wings and fly to the hole in the ice. She hovered over the hole, trying to see the fillies who had now began to sink. Minty panicked. She started screaming out their names and reaching into the water to feel something, a body, something. But she felt nothing except for the chilling temperature of the water, which made Minty's forehoof numb. The Pegasus landed at distance from the hole. Pressed her ear against the ice and listened. She waited in suspense, just praying for a simple noise from under the ice. Seconds passed, then minutes. Minty was about to dive into the water herself till she heard a crack, a thump, and then a crack again. The sound seemed to be coming from somewhere near her. Her heart skipped a beat as she heard the faint cry of a filly. She looked to see where she heard it and ran to that direction. She found a small hole forming a few feet in front of her. Minty's heart leaped in desperation. She begged that they were still alive. The Pegasus' prayer was answered as another weak cry came from the hole. She looked down it and caught a glimpse of a caramel-colored hoof under the ice hitting the surface. Then she saw a pink hoof and a gray hoof. They were still alive. Immediately, Minty began to punch the ice, screaming at the fillies to move out of the way. Punch after punch, the ice weakened more and more. Seconds after seconds, the Pegasus grew more and more into the blindness of panic. She turned around, lifted her back hooves, bucked against the ice, and repeated. I know what you might be thinking. The fillies should be dead by now from the shock of the water, the loss of oxygen, and the high chance of hypothermia. But as Pegasi, they can deal with cold water, but only for a certain amount of time. This, Minty knew, and time was running out. The Pegasus bucked harder and harder, deaf to the sounds of the ice breaking and creating an escape for the fillies. What the fillies saw was a way out, but was a ticket to death. Minty didn't hear the gasp from the children as she lifted her back hooves one more time. One more buck was all she needed to do, and one more buck she did. Throwing her back hooves down, she bucked the ice shards downward. For a second she felt relief as cold water splashed her legs, but that relief didn't last long when she heard the sudden screams of agony from the fillies. Minty turned around to see the water turn slightly red. She watched in horror as the fillies gasped at the ice shards sticking out of their backs and chests. Tears trickled down her face. Blood spurted from the wounds. Eyes began to fade. Very soon, the fillies' lives slipped away, and their bodies felt limp. The Pegasus' eyes shook. Her mind went blank. Her body trembled uncontrollably. The fillies were dead. Minty just killed the 3 fillies that adored her, looked up to her, trusted her. She didn't try to help them. She didn't pull them out of the ice. She didn't check, see if they were okay. No, she just stood there and smiled. Yes, my friends, Minty committed a crime. Your funny, hyper tomboy you know is a murderer. A murderer who ran away from the scene. A murderer who smiled, processing what had just happened. Later in the years, when Minty got her cutie mark, she realized the 3 snowflakes surrounding the microphone represented 3 fillies she had killed. Guilt overcame her so heavily that she almost took her own life as well. But to take care of that, she came up with an idea. So, using illegal magic, she created me, Mizuni. I was created to remind her of what her purpose was in life besides voice acting. Her purpose was to remember those fillies every single night until she dies. So, did Minty go insane the day of the murder? Well, I'll let you answer that question.